and the day ain't even over yet, so who knows? But yeah, trying to dig in on a lot of this, and so people can actually get the just get what's going on, because I know how it is. Like now that I'm a few years into this study, when I first started and I got into it, it was so hard to get what was going on, to understand, to get to the level where I'm at now. And I just figured that there's got to be a way that I can make it easier and kind of simplify it. I know a lot of people always ask questions, and I believe I asked this too, is there any way that you could structure this out where, like, where do I go first? What's the first thing I should start and learn, and then do this and progress, so I can learn it in order instead of being all scattered around? And it's not an easy answer to that. But so this is basically what was going on. Like I said, it might go over the head of people who are not really into this, or who don't have a understanding of business or accounting. But I'm gonna go into it, and I'm not gonna assume anything. So basically, when you have a journal, which is what all businesses must have, all accountants, and usually businesses just turn over their journal to the accountant. It makes it simple. You're gonna have a left side of the journal, and you're gonna have a right side of the journal. You would keep all debits on one side and all credits on another side. So there's always supposed to be two sets of books. There's two books. It's not one. They always keep them separate. They'll have a totally different person actually doing the other side. You have account payables, you have account receivables. Typically no one person is doing both of those jobs. And there's a reason for that, because that's where they get to hide the fraud at. And then the person that you're questioning or blaming or making accusations to has no clue really what you're talking about, and you're getting mad and accusing him of stealing your money and all this stuff, and it's crazy. He truly doesn't have an idea of what's going on. So basically, to simplify it, so when you go into a merchant and you buy something, you purchase something, and I have something really quick. Of course, all my information is redacted, so I just want you to see it real quick. Alright, so as you can see, there's the receipt. I made a purchase, and the merchant retained a copy of the transaction. He has one copy, and he gave me the other copy. So it would be a mirror. On my side of the paperwork, it's saying debit. So it's saying it debited from my account and credit to his account. So I'm assuming, I haven't looked at his copy, but it would only make sense his side is a credit, because he's getting paid. He's getting paid, and I'm the payee, or the payor. He's the payee. So those are legal terms, accounting terms. You can look them up. Not too hard. So those are the two sets of books when you put them together. So a lot of people say this when they talk about the OID process, which is actually original issue discount. Again, like always, I give you words and I help break down acronyms and stuff like that, so you can do your research. It's a lot faster than asking a ton of questions. Just try some simple research. Just, I give you all the information, look it up, try to buy you a business dictionary. That'll help you a lot. But so what's going on is, like I said, he's doing the accounting on his side. He has to actually report those receipts as cash and income. So he's reporting it on a 1099. The problem is that we are not assessing the tax on that same side. We have the receipt. We have what we need to do it. It's a mirroring receipt. For every transaction, there's a equal and opposite transaction occurring at the same time. So for the debit, there has to be a credit. For the credit has to be a debit. So it's not like that the IRS is going to assume that you're lying or it's fraud, because he's already filed, the merchant has already filed their taxes. The other side is missing, because we don't know that we need to file taxes on our receipts too. And I'm talking about all receipts, no matter what amount. As you see the receipt, the merchant is keeping receipts. If you spend $1.66, if you spend 35 cents, he is keeping a ledger and track and a receipt. So basically, when you put those two receipts together, it becomes a journal. It's a full journal. You have your accounts payable and your accounts receivable. And of course, this would be considered to the merchant as current assets. So there's this basic business, basic account that I wanted to give you. And the funny thing about that is I took my major in college was actually international business. So I did not go past, I just got my associate's degree. I didn't go any higher than that. I didn't see any need, and I knew I had confirmed that I was right, that I didn't even need to be there in that college in the first place. So basically just accounting 101 classes, business 101 classes, really, really basic shit. I've got more in depth into learning it just on my own right here on Facebook than I probably would have. And even at that time, my professor always told me that when I raise my hand and I ask questions or I explain things, he says that you're talking above the class. You're talking like, and you're in chapter 4, chapter 3, and we haven't got that far. I was saving that for after, you know, the recess or the spring break. And a lot of times he would, professors would say to me, am I being punked? Like, how is it that you know all this stuff? So it would be quite hilarious. They was like, you know, how are you already knowing like 400 class information and stuff when you're just considered a freshman? It was weird. The college I went to, you weren't really considered a freshman because I was on the accelerated program. So it wasn't really broken down. I did my associates in 18 months because I went straight through the summer when people were off and went vacationing and went home and wherever. I was just still in school, just knocking it out. So yeah, that's what I'm basically saying, is that this is a kind of basic accounting, but I give you a little more advanced with it and to let you understand business that you're doing every day. I know it's sad that we don't know this, and we actually should, because it would be beneficial in your life. This is something that you do every day. Whether you go out and go eat at a restaurant, yes, you're doing commerce, you're doing business, you're structured as a business in law, and you should be doing proper business and assessing your taxes properly if you knew how. So I think it's just a basic skill that actually should have been taught in these schools for this 12 years that they had us there just bleaching our dome, as Jay-Z likes to call it. So it's kind of sad that you have to get it here, and the funny thing is trying to give it to you is so hard because you're under the impression that you don't need it or it's something fake or false, and if I needed it, I would have got it in school. I think that's the biggest obstacle to people waking up and getting this information, is that you're under the impression that you know everything you need to know, and you're grown and there's nothing else that anyone can tell you. That could be so far from the truth. There's so much more you have to learn. There's so much more I have to learn, and I've learned a lot. And there's people who know more than me, and they still have more to learn. They still love learning. So you can never be comfortable and just assume that what you learn is just it's enough, because obviously I got my high school diploma, or I got my degree, so yeah, what else do I need? You know, that's kind of ignorant to think that way. There's a lot more that you need to learn, and you know, the funny thing is a lot of people don't want to invest the time, energy into learning this, but would rather do some other things, but then complain about money and their lifestyle. And I'm trying to tell you, this is it. This is it. I know a lot of people hate that, you know, I bring up Bible verses and stuff like that, but usually I only need to quote one Bible verse. And it's sad that I just learned about this Bible verse maybe, I don't know if it was 3 or 4 years ago. It's pretty new to me. But it's Hosea, and I had never even heard of the book of Hosea. It's Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Literally destroyed for lack of knowledge. So it's biblical. So if you're religious and everything, and you still think you don't have a duty to know this, it says there's a lot of scriptures that speaks about law, and it says that he who ignores or does not follow the law, even his prayer shall be an abomination. So you know, this is biblical. The Bible is a law book. So it's just sad that people really don't want to invest in this and don't really want to learn, or just want to call it conspiracy, or it's crazy because I don't understand it, so it has to be crazy. That's just not how it works. But I don't mean to babble on. The point I wanted to make, I think I've already got it across, is about your receipts and about keeping them and being able to, if you have an accountant, determining on the dollar amount of the receipts, you might not need those receipts because you're getting a standard deduction anyway. They're assuming that this is an amount, this number right here, that you're already going to have deductions for. So it's yeah, basically that's it. So thanks for watching again. Like I said, this is the third video today. I guess that's a treat. It's a good thing for me. I don't get to do it often. Usually busy or occupied. But thanks for watching again. Hopefully it was insightful. Enjoy.